Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Crate Expectations. I'm here with my co-host, doesn't like chai, Sarah. How are you today, Sarah? And why don't you like chai?
Tastes gross.
And how does it taste? You told me just a minute ago that it tastes like the little cinnamon heart candies.
It does, except cinnamon heart candies are worse. But it has the same like underlying flavor, and no, pass.
Oh man. All right. Well, now that we've got that out of our way, so this is definitely not the dessert channel or stream or whatever.
No.
But folks, for those of you who are new to this, me and Sarah have a show. Half of it's on this channel, half of it is on her channel. So when we're done with this one, the second half will be over on her side. So go follow her channel, subscribe, all the cool things, thumbs up. Do that to my channel first, please, and then a video description. There will be a link to her half of it,
Hmm.
and it'll be great.
Yeah, we'll talk about more stuff there.
And things, yeah.
Stuff and things.
That's what we talk about. So, what are we talking about today? What stuff and things specifically?
It's been a really boring week. I don't know. Not a whole lot of news. There's a puzzle on the weekend.
I was shocked to learn this week
Mhm.
that you didn't like chai.
That's the news. Uh, no, but so we had a puzzle from Crumb.
It was puzzling. Oh yeah, the crumb puzzle.
Yeah,
Okay.
not the chai dislike. Um, okay, so the puzzle announced two characters, so that's there, and then we had a little content update today, which ties into one of the characters being announced. And then we'll go over character review. We've got a bunch of viewer questions, which we're not going to get to all of them, so the overflow will just go into next week. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, roster roast, pack review. There's a lovely triggering photo that I've been dying to see.
Yeah, you guys have been
Hmm.
waiting for a week. You've been patient, and then you had to wait an extra day because we normally publish this on Wednesdays, but
Mm-hmm.
um, that didn't pan out because Sarah
Yeah,
decided not to cooperate, and here we are.
my head decided not to cooperate. Yeah, so we're a day late, but it's fine.
Right, but maybe a dollar short, but hopefully it's only a Canadian dollar. So
So it's like 73 cents.
yeah, day late and 73 cents short. Good. All right. We have a lot of new stuff to talk about though, and oh man. So first off, I want to say that I know that this isn't really a concern for all the people, but I just want to say, like, for myself, I feel very relieved that we finally have Boosh Leia available to farm on in shipments.
Hmm.
Because that was the condition for me. Like I couldn't just they released Jabba early enough that it was just gamble packs, and it was a hard no for me
Hmm.
because I can't do that. It was too much. So that was but now I can actually farm her through shipments, and that's what I've been doing with a lot of characters. Anyways, light whaling is what I call it, and it feels good. Like I can actually make progress toward actually getting the next Galactic Legend instead of just sitting there staring at the less than 1,000 people who play the game
Right,
who have Jabba.
right. Then you can be one of the however many that will have him when you unlock him.
Oh, I know. Like I'll
Hmm.
be part of the. Here's the thing, though. So I was in the top 50 last week in GAC, and I am still in the top 50 somehow. But two of my opponents had Jabba, and I was like, hey, look at this. I'm disadvantaged again, just like that.
Right, right. Immediately. Oh man. Yeah.
No complaint. Like, and to be clear, for those of you who did spend money, no judgment. For those of you who don't want to spend money,
Mhm.
also no judgment. I find myself in this place of like I don't begrudge those people their Jabba, and
Hmm.
I'll work. I'm not gonna just like sit down and be like, oh, I lost because of Jabba. Like that's not how it is. I just it's a challenge that I want to be part of the people who have him, so that I can like right now I'm just chomping at the bit. I want to get into it so that I can have some use this cool new toy that everyone else surrounding me has.
Right. Totally makes sense. For me, I'm like, nobody around me has them.
Yeah, I don't think I'll have him for 5v5 though. If I do, it'll be like the last week, but because I don't have any tickets farmed either. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the tickets. So yeah.
yeah. Okay, so there's actually a ton to talk about Jabba right now.
I know.
We could go in a ton of different directions. I guess the first thing is they kind of blindsided us. It wasn't that big of a deal, but they
Mhm.
have a new like
New event.
I think of them as 4 o'clock events.
Right.
But because like for me, all the new events come out at like I think it's at midnight or something like that on my personal account.
Mhm.
But then like the credit heist and all of those things come out like 4 hours later,
Yeah.
and that's a 4 o'clock time frame for me at least. That's when they're available, and so I think like this is I think a new 4 o'clock event,
Yeah. Well,
right?
so I'm not taking the timing on this one seriously because it launched after the content update and it's only active for 12 hours. Like that doesn't make any sense. They're always active for a day.
Well, my guess is that it just activated and then it'll just turn off at the point that it normally would turn off. Now that it's
Right.
just part of the.
I think it was just a big oopsie in terms of like they didn't get the clock the timing of it right is my point because you have a bunch of people who might miss it based off time zones and when they play the game.
Well, yeah, like there's been times in my life where it's like, oh, there's certain 12-hour periods where maybe I'll log in or maybe I won't. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm just too busy sometimes. Sometimes I wake up a little later in the morning and I'm like, I gotta get ready for work, drive to work, be at work the whole day, and when I come out, it's been 12 hours and it's like evening and I'm logging in and it's like, hey, collect your calendar. And I'm
Right,
like, I,
exactly.
hey, your energy is maxed. Your calendars are here. Like,
Mhm.
wake the f up, dude.
Right. So like I saw once I saw the timing, I was like, this is a weird thing. But yeah, it is like this was a thing that I noticed was everyone saw it in game and didn't go read the content update on the forums before they started freaking out. And I was like, it's a new event. It doesn't replace Smuggler's Run 1. It's just completely misnamed in game. It's supposed to be called Smuggler's Run 2 and it's its own separate event. So and you need Java for it.
Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? How do you feel about it? I like went through a whole range of. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it was like I went through the grieving process, even though I wasn't grieving, but or whatever it is, like the whole, or maybe I forget what it is, but it's like you go through denial and anger,
Yeah,
and like all the different
all the
stages,
stages of grief.
and then finally acceptance. Yeah, grief, maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
I don't care, and I know I'm in the minority about this, but they, I hate to be the person who's kind of like they told us, but like they told us in July when they first announced Java that he was going to be getting his own territory battle missions.
Hmm.
Um, they were going to retroactively add him into those old territory battles. And then they also included a line about putting him in other PvE places in the game that would make him like a utility character for it. So basically, you will want to have him to use him in those areas. They didn't say what areas, but they did say that basically they're going to reward you for having him. So I'm not totally shocked. To me, this isn't any different from the Inquisitor Assault Battle. I can do tier 1. You get to do however many tiers because you have them relict and you have the Grand Inquisitor.
I'm fancy. Hmm.
It's
Agreed.
just a way of, I mean, so there's two things. The first thing is I I'm not, I don't want to say like I'm not disappointed. Like obviously I want the rewards. That's not what I'm saying and I totally get that. But it's also a little bit of like reminding myself that not everything is meant for me to have right away.
Hmm.
I will get there eventually, but just because I can't have it right away doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. And two, the game has been out for 7 years. You CG needs to create new game modes and update a smuggler run, put a new assault battle in, because otherwise, what are you doing?
Right. So, okay, I like your. It's a pretty mature response. It's good. I do like that. Okay. Here's my big concern
Hmm.
about this is I have been really frustrated of late. Like people who watch my other videos, like certain things that CG have done, I don't think is bad, and I don't think that this is bad in and of itself.
Right.
I think the thing that frustrates me the most about this particular thing is right now the only and for a long time for several months the only
Hmm.
people who are going to get that are the people who spend money or who are highly invested at the very end point of the game. Like you've been playing for several years and you've spent some money and you're not very close to getting Jabba, correct?
Right. He's probably, I'm aiming to have him before the territory battle drops, but we'll see.
Right, but you're months away, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so and that's the case for everyone. And so for a little bit, for this little tiny window, CG was like, "Hey, here's some catch-up mechanics for new players." Like,
Hmm.
there's that constant conversation of, oh, man, I if I had to start the game new from right now, like I wouldn't want to do that. That would suck. That would be awful. And I don't think that it would be quite as awful, but it is quite daunting to think of all the different legendaries, all the different galactic
Hmm.
legends, all the different events you have to be ready for. Now you have to get ready for a new territory battle. The roadmap for success for this game just continues to expand and it's crazy, and new players have nothing new at all. This
Right.
is for endgame only, which actually just makes it so that the endgame people, who, by the way, I spend hundreds of dollars a month, I
Hmm.
can't keep up with a lot of the people at the very top end. Like they outspend me to the point that I can't, even if I'm being efficient, can't keep up. And those guys are the guys who are getting richer now.
Right.
And the casual, like day to day, like whatever, like log in most days and play, like,
Hmm.
or people who are dedicated but are free to play, have no extra. Like it's the opposite of a catch up mechanic.
Hmm.
It's like the absolute opposite of a catch up mechanic. In fact,
I don't think it's meant to be a catch-up mechanic.
but that's what I think. Personally, I think that that's much more needed than Kraken's getting more toys.
Yeah, I'm not denying that. I have a hard time seeing like what is the difference between this event and the Inquisitor assault battles.
Oh, I mean, I agree. I think that the Inquisitor Soul battles are the same thing. Like, it's just
Hmm.
another thing that keeps me ahead. Like, my main account is like, hey, that's cool. My alt is like, what the hell, man? Like, it's
Right.
hard enough to keep up with the people I'm facing day to day. Like, I'm facing people in Kyber 1 who have all 6 Galactic Legends all the time, every
Hmm.
time, consistently. And those guys, those are the guys who are going to have it.
Hmm.
And my alt is like, I could really use anything here, please. CG's like, well, you could spend more.
So my other thought on this is it's hard for me. I don't want to say it's hard for me to sympathize because I do sympathize. And like I said, I obviously want the rewards. I'm kind of like, where is the line though? Because this is a case of, okay, they've created an event and we don't have the character, so we don't get to play it. So we're left out, right?
Right.
They created Proving Grounds and we had the character and we didn't get to play it. And we complained that we didn't get to play it because we have the character. So it's kind of like, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to complain because you have the character so you can't play it, or do you want to complain that you don't have the character and you can't have it both ways?
So I don't know. I don't know how popular my thought. I guess having Jabba is its own reward. You go to GAC,
Hmm.
either your opponent also has Jabba and you guys are even, or you have a substantial advantage, more substantial than most other advantages given his bulk, and he. And then you have this big advantage though, like, and then you win more GACs, you win more like in territory battles. Your guild is gonna benefit more. Like that in its own is its own reward.
Hmm.
I'm not saying we should just have people get rewarded for mediocrity or something. I just think that lately, all the things that have been coming out, that have been released, have been either for like, all the people, or they've been released for Krakens.
Hmm.
and like they Datacrons. I mean, it's well documented your frustration with them, and like there's a lot of things going on with Datacrons, but by and large, the people who are engaging with Datacrons are the people who spend. Like
Right.
they're the ones who benefit most from them. They're the ones who spend money. Like so, like we have Datacrons, we have the Grand Inquisitor event, we have the Jabba event, we have Profundity. All these things that are like unapproachable for smaller players, and we have
Hmm.
no catch-up mechanics. In fact, we have the opposite because not only are Krakens getting more gear and resources, they're
Hmm.
also the new player, like medium range players, have to spend their own resources, like Shard Shop currency, on Datacrons, or they can't keep up with Datacrons either. Like they actually have another leech to their resources.
Right. Yeah. No, I think we do need that catch up mechanic at the entry, whatever, the lower range, because like you said, if you were to like tell me today to be like, hey, you should start this, or somebody mentioned to me not too long ago, they're like, oh, you should start like a new account and like go through that, and I was like, no, no
Right.
way. Like it is way too daunting. There's so much, and there's a path that you could follow for sure, but like in my opinion, the only way you would start right now is one, you're totally casual, you just like Star Wars and you don't really care. Or two, you've already done the research on the game and you know exactly what to do before you even start playing. Um, which is a lot of work. Like your average player isn't doing that. And if you're that invested before you've started playing, chances are you're spending anyway. So you're not your typical lower player that's
Right.
just starting up anyway. So yeah, they definitely need the catch up mechanics there. I guess I just don't find it super frustrating. I don't know. I'm also in a weird spot where I'm like, this doesn't affect me.
Well, I mean, it is about mods, so
Well, so okay, and this is whatever, it's about mods, but it's also about six dot mods specifically.
sure.
So like Smuggler's Run, you have the mods that you're getting a mod over whatever the rewards are, mods and slicing materials and all that fun stuff for your five dot mods.
Hmm.
And then this is kind of like the next level, so it's your six dot mod stuff. Um, I don't know.
Uh, so the rewards are pretty nice, though. Actually,
Sure. I
they are
mean,
pretty nice, but so I benefit from this. I just look at the health of the game.
right.
And I'm not a doctor, frankly. Like I'm no expert in the health of the game. I see a lot of people hanging on this game like just by their fingernails. They're like, I am about to quit, or like if the
Hmm.
second something cool comes out, I'm gonna try that instead because I would love to quit. And it would be nice if CG threw everyone a bone. Give us something, you know.
Right.
Give the new players, especially newer players, mid-range players, something. And like late game players still get it, but it doesn't mean as much. Like my main account
Hmm.
has 1,500 Carbenti. It
Yeah.
has 1,600 Kyrotech.
Hmm.
It has 1,600 uh, stun guns and 1,600 stun cuffs. Like I have all of the gear. Like that won't impact my main account at all. But if you give it to everyone else more of it, that could actually be a nice little boost.
And like, so this is the crazy thing is you have all of that and you're not even 2 million GP ahead of me.
Right.
And I'm like, I need all of that.
Yeah. Well, spending on stuff actually really skews things in a weird way too. Like there is
True.
also that like you get to the point where it's like, well, all my huge bottlenecks is because I already spent everything on the carbs and the cuffs and everything that
Hmm.
I needed back then. Now I just need a bunch of Gear 12 stuff, Gear 12
Right.
plus. So they need to start making that farmable too. It's just right now I feel like they just don't care about people trying to catch up, and it seems like we could have a lot more people. There's a ton. It's like the golden age of Star Wars. All the new stuff is
Hmm.
coming out,
Hmm.
and People are like, oh yeah, that reminded me, I wanted to play a Star Wars mobile game, and there's no other Star Wars mobile games in existence right now that I'm aware
Hmm.
of.
I don't know of any.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, we've talked about that a lot, but
Hmm.
so we got the new event.
Yeah. Which it'll be gone probably before this even comes out.
Yep,
Oh.
yep, you're right. So otherwise, all right, how did you feel? So I know I've been really negative about CG lately. One thing I kind of refuse to be negative about, though. There's two actually very exciting things. Um, well, and the thing that started it. What were your thoughts on Crumb's puzzle?
I liked it. I like when he does his puzzles. Um, I was a little jealous because I wanted a physical puzzle. I like puzzles.
You're not enough of a content creator to do that.
I know. It's fine. I just really like. I wanted a physical puzzle.
You know
I
what?
found it hilarious that it was a physical puzzle.
You know what CG should do sometime is pay for one of us to fly to the other's house
Mm-hmm.
and send us a puzzle, and we could do a puzzle unboxing thing for one of their for their next thing. That's what they should do. It's just like
Right,
just hook that up. They could, yeah,
right. We
we
can
could
do a
just stream
puzzle.
it. Yeah, yeah. We make it like escape room themed.
Man, I love escape rooms.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah, they're great, but yeah, there's like actually like boxed games, like escape room board games that you can
yeah.
play. They should do it that way. So there's their next idea. CG.
Crumb specifically. He's the one that comes
Crumb.
up with all these puzzles.
Well, yeah. So a lot of people are like, well, why, like this outrage of, and you just have to accept that there's going to be people who are outrageous or outrageous. They are outrageous, but they're outraged about these things that I'm like, I can't really relate with being mad about this. Like they get mad about, well, that they didn't make the puzzle accessible to people except for on the weekend. Like,
But
like
why does
they
that matter?
well, because people don't have availability on the weekend, apparently. Like, but how are you going to find a time that anyone is available or that every person is available?
Right. Uh,
Like you do it at certain times, and half the world's asleep.
I mean, I'm just curious why it matters because it takes so long anyway.
Yeah,
And the puzzle was clearly like timed, like they figured part of it out and they were waiting because they got to the video link before the video was live.
nice.
So like they clearly had an expectation of how long it would take. So I guess I don't know.
People just want to be part of the thing. But I think it's cool. Um, yeah, if people want. For me personally, I just wanted the results, but
Right.
like the excitement about it is so palpable. I mean, yeah, yeah, like the stream that was going on, and like Cubs, who doesn't really stream that much anymore, doesn't
Hmm.
have a huge crowd, and that's not shade. That's just observation of he's moved on from doing that as a primary source of income or whatever. I think, but like doesn't have a huge crowd, and he had like 900 people watching for a long
Right.
time. Like
Right.
people were excited to do this. Like they really wanted to be part of it, and
Well, they had um Cubs take a photo of all the pieces, lay them out flat,
right.
and then it was uploaded to the event server. And then somebody
Hmm.
in the event server put it into Photoshop and moved all of the pieces around individually to solve this puzzle through
Yeah.
Photoshop. And they actually solved it before Cubs and Gridden did. And then that was like, they were like, here you go, like
That was
solved
funny.
off of Photoshop. But like, that's how
Yeah.
badly the people wanted to be involved. Um,
Yeah.
and like for me, so I was watching it off and on. I was at work when it started. So I was like off and on the stream and stuff and off and on Discord. Discord was going absolutely crazy. And I remember waking up the next day and I looked in Discord and it was still going. And then that's when I kind of like clued in. I was like, oh, you guys haven't gone to sleep. Like you guys were up all night
Yeah.
and have just been puzzling. I'm like, wasn't there like a tag team, like tag a buddy and you could get some sleep and your buddy starts doing brain power and you know? Yeah, so they were just going like kudos to them because they figured it out and they were going ham.
Yeah, it's just a cool thing when the whole community, like, either they want to be part of it and are actually solving it. I don't have the technical expertise personally to
Mhm.
actually do any of that. Like, I'm like, I don't know. I know how to spell,
I know
you
how
know?
to spell.
I, I'm pretty good with that their grammar, but
I
not when it comes to Canadian
was gonna
grammar,
say
mind you.
Canadian grammar, no.
No, I don't. It always trips me up. I'm like, why did you add that "you" there? Anyways, we have. But it's fun. Like the other people do have that expertise, and it's fun to watch those people. Sometimes it's like a totally different language, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun, and the community gets so excited. And then the payoff was we have Hondo
Mhm.
and Afra coming, and what, three unnamed characters that help unlock Afra as
Right.
part of a Starkiller esque event. So we don't have a lot of time on this half, but
Oh geez.
what are 2 minutes worth of Sarah's thoughts on this of Hondo and
Mhm.
Afra and the whole thing, the whole shebang?
So I wasn't surprised by Hondo, and which was fine. Once I realized the puzzle was still going, I was like, okay. And then I had no idea where it was going once it was still going. I don't know a lot about Afra, to be honest with you. I know a little bit from what Pico's told me. Um, but it sounds like it's gonna be really cool to have her in game,
Sure.
right? What are you thinking?
Yeah. So the Star Killer event was my all-time favorite thing the CG has done in this game. Like it
Oh, really?
is by far my favorite. Yeah, because I grew up reading all the Star Wars books, like the old Legends books, and like I loved all like Mara Jade is for like all of these things are non-canon, like
Mm-hmm.
just so cool that they're adding them to the game, and they're all cool characters that go to individual squads that are really fun,
Mm-hmm.
and like Kyle Katarn has nothing to do with Dash Rendar, and that's fine. They're both unlocks, go their separate ways. Wonderful, totally fine. And the Star Killer is like he kills galactic like he's almost a galactic legend himself, but only requires
Mm-hmm.
4 characters to unlock. And like yeah, just every part of it was enjoyable to me. Like I loved the hell out of it, and they made all the characters. I know that people don't like to have to farm the characters in Cantina, but it made them so much faster to farm as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So I loved Star Killer event. So if this is a similar thing to that,
Mm-hmm. Which it looks
pretty
like it
happy.
will be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking good. Yeah, are you excited?
Yeah, I'm curious who the other three are gonna be.
Okay, quick.
I'm
Two guesses on two predictions
well,
off
I
the top
mean,
of your head.
I think the droids are the obvious picks. Or no, you don't think so?
They might, maybe they will be. That
I
wouldn't follow
guess.
the Star Killer pattern, but it could be. Yeah,
Well, that's what I mean is I guess it depends on if they're related to her or not.
right. Oh, so yeah, we could have BT, whatever, and 000.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, well that's the safe answer. Very good, Sarah.
Thanks.
All right, time for trigger photos, and we don't even have time to trigger Sarah this time with the BB-8 one. This one is just straight up. What the hell are you doing with Star Killer, guys? Why would you do something like this?
I was thinking about this and I was like, was this like a misclick somehow? But I guess like it couldn't have been.
I don't know. This is a 3v3 team apparently.
Like it couldn't have been a misclick for setting your defense.
Yeah, it's IG-11 is dead, and I'm wondering, like, did they set it on defense? Has someone actually failed on this, or
Uh, I don't know. I don't know. It's an I don't know what the thought process. I'm trying to think of a way that you would misclick and put Starkiller in that squad, and I just don't think there is one.
you already have a team that goes with Star Killer pre-built, like
Mm-hmm.
easily. If you wanted to, you could play Star Killer with Kyle Katarn and Mara Jade,
True.
like just already available. Not that that would be ideal, but you can play it like that. All right,
Uh,
guys, we're out of time. Go into Sarah's channel, click on the link; it should be out there already,
mhm.
or go to the video description. We'll see you over there. We're gonna do fun, exciting things in game.
Yeah.